Alright, now that you've finished hand knotting all 108 beads, you are finally ready to put your guru bead and tassel on. So let's look at how to do that. So in this specific design, I'm using a silver bead before I put my guru bead on. So it's actually an extra step than from what you might be doing. So I'm going to gather the ends of the strands and my needle. And I'm going to fish all of it through this little bead. There we go. Once I get it nice and even with the knots, then I'm going to do an overhand knot. At this point, it's really handy to use something like pliers or tweezers in order to get this knot really close to that bead. So I'm going to take my tweezers and go in through the loop, hold on to the strands closest to the bead, and then I'm going to pull with my other hand to get that knot nice and tight. Now I'm going to go ahead and just start to separate the strands and pull on each of them individually to make the nice knot tight and even. And now you have a nice knot. Now we're ready to put the guru bead on. So we're going to gather the legs of the thread and the needle. We're going to fish on this guru bead. Okay, so now we got the threads through. We're going to take the needle through. Slide the bead closest to the last knot, and now we're going to do a different style of knot, crossing over like this, just like if you were tying your shoes. We're just going to go over once, and we're going to set it there just like so. And now we're going to go ahead and add the tassel. Now we're going to make a handmade tassel. This is the most authentic way to make your mala. It'll also allow you to make a beautiful mala without having to use any glue or other components. So it's a little tricky, but you'll get the hang of it. Your thread is going to come on a card, but my thread is on this bobbin. So that's what I'm using right now. So I'm going to take the thread and I'm going to wrap it around my 4 fingers just like this. And I'm going to do this until I feel like it's thick enough for my tassel. Okay, so now I went ahead and took some time spooling all that thread onto my hand. One of the ways I check to see if I think it's thick enough for my tassel is I kind of squeeze it with my fingers and imagine if that would be enough for half of a tassel, because keep in mind I have half of it over here too. So that's going to make a nice size tassel, about that much. Use your judgment. If you like a thinner tassel, use less. If you like a thicker tassel, keep going. So now at this point, what we're going to go ahead and do is carefully take my fingers out of here, keeping it open like so, and then I'm going to grab my scissors, and I'm going to take my scissors through to the bottom, and I'm cutting the bottom. I'm going to make sure all those threads are cut, and then I'll cut the thread that was connected to the bobbin. Okay, so I like to take a moment here just kind of smoothing out the threads in my hand. And I'm going to hold the threads at the very top, trying to keep equal sides of thread on both sides. And I'm going to lay it down right here between the other threads of my mala. And now I'm going to grab the other legs that were there from the mala. And I'm actually going to do an overhand knot. So again, you could grab your tweezers to help you with this, or I'm just going to use my fingers to push that knot down. Now I'm going to pull apart the threads to make a tight, even knot. And there we go. On to step 2.